Hi, I'm Steve. I have an eidetic memory. I know it's been a whole week since the second episode of Marvel's What If premiered, and the events of that episode might have been lost in the cosmic miasma of your galaxy brain. But never fear, I'm here to help. So here's a perfect recap of What If Episode 2, What If T'Challa Became Star-Lord. This episode begins with Star-Lord on Morag playing one of those cheap Velcro beach tennis ball games, but in space! So it's nice to know we lowly humans have some commonality with celestial beings. Jaimin Hansu shows up and Star-Lord is actually T'Challa in this reality. Instead of being confused as to Star-Lord's identity like in the original Guardians of the Galaxy, however, Korath the Pursuer, yeah, that's his name, look, it's right there, whee, is a huge fan of Star-Lord. It seems like in this reality, T'Challa as Star-Lord is a space Robin Hood of sorts. Or is he? After beating up a property recovery specialist just doing his job and kidnapping him, T'Challa meets up with Yondu, who's softer, kinder, more generous. Almost a completely different person. They hop in T'Challa's Ravager ship, which instead of being named the Milano after famous Bernie Sanders campaign manager Alyssa Milano, is named the Mandela after an obscure South African politician who died in prison in the 1980s. We cut to the past and see how this came to be, after a short session of psychological manipulation between T'Chaka and T'Challa.
As someone who has ventured out into the greater world, let me assure you, all you will find there is destruction and pain.
T'Challa runs out of the Wakanda gaslighting bubble and is promptly abducted by Yondu's crew, who are stupid. T'Challa picks up on this and sees his opportunity to use the manipulative techniques taught to him by his father to build his own space empire under the guise of radical activist charity. Cut to the present day and T'Challa has been busy indeed. He's built a cult following by plying victims with alcohol laced with psychedelics and gaslighting them into a life of crime colored as righteousness. He's even convinced Thanos himself that making sure there are enough resources to go around and reducing the effects of urban expansion, environmental destruction, poverty, hunger, homelessness, and oversaturation of the dating pool by using a quick, fair, and efficient system isn't a noble goal, and instead he should just be the muscle on a bank heist crew. Oh, T'Challa, how that handsome face of yours belies your true dark nature. Anyway, Nebula but blonde. Neblonda? Nebulond? Anyway, Oblongata has a line on a new score. The Embers of Genesis, which T'Challa sees as an opportunity to monopolize food distribution and have trillions across the galaxy bow at his feet, completely dependent upon him for their next plate of soy nuggies. The Embers are in the care of the Collector, a humble man who simply wishes to be left alone with his modest collection of treasures, literature, sentient people with rights that are being ignored, and spaceships, all of which he paid for with money he earned by pulling himself up by his bootstraps and working 7 nights a week as an exotic dancer. T'Challa doesn't believe the Collector is entitled to the sweat of his butt though, and the crew set out to nowhere to rob the poor man blind. While doing a space burgle, T'Challa's necklace alerts him to a Wakandan spacecraft in the collection. Inside, T'Challa finds a recording of his dad that addresses him directly and says that if he doesn't get back to Earth this instant, he's going back in the bad boy box. The strength of abusive manipulation runs deep, but T'Challa has grown strong in his father's absence. And after convincing the Collector he has a future in drag, Star-Lord instead brings his Ravager crew back to Wakanda with the Embers of Genesis to sow the seeds of his father's destruction. Who will this false god T'Challa bring into his cult next? How far will the sinister arms of his dark plan reach? After his return to Wakanda, is space safe from his corruptive influence? Are any of us? There, now you're all caught up and ready for episode 3. Have fun, bye!